Good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the Burning Issue here on the Happy World of 5FM Radio. I must say the weather is good here in Lusaka. I'm not sure everywhere else, but so far looks like it's going to be a very good rainy season, and we thank God for that. Well, we are in Lusaka on 89.9 and the surrounding areas, but we are also in Katete, and that is on 100.3 FM. That's 103.3 actually. Thank you very much. 103.3 in Katete, covering the entire Eastern Province. That's Katete FM. We are very grateful for that. We are live on Spice FM 91.1 in Kabwe, and of course covering the rest of Central Province. We are also live in Kapiri on ZFM. ZFM is on 100.3 FM, and obviously covering Belt is well covered. We are live on Platinum Radio, and that is in Ndola, and in Mansa on 90.7, well as Isunga FM on 88.3. That is in Northern Province, Sengaio to be precise. All right, and we are grateful for that to you, our partner radio station. Please look out for our Facebook page. We are live on 5FM Radio Zambia. That's our Facebook page. Like it, share it, and if you can, please leave us a question or a comment for our guest. Now, let me take this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Zachariah Banda, and my guest today is Mr. Greyford Monde. He is the Patriotic Front aspiring presidential candidate, and not forgetting that he's a former cabinet minister and former member of parliament as well. Now, Mr. Monde, always a pleasure to have you on this program. We are grateful, and thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zach, and I'm very impressed that this broadcast is going very far.
Indeed.
So let me say good morning to the people of Katete. I was on Katete FM not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Let me also say good morning to the people in Kabwe, listening to us from Spice, the Kapiri people on ZFM, the Copper Belt people. I was there last week also around Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
The Mansa people on Tuta and the Senga Hill, Northern Province.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so serious.
Absolutely.
It caused me to concentrate whatever I want to say today.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
But how have you been?
Well, I'm fine. Just quite very tired traversing the country.
Of course.
In the last about 21 days, I've been to Eastern Province, the entire Eastern Province. I've been to over half of Lusaka Province, half of Central Province, the entire Western Province, district by district, up to Sikongo, Shangombo, then came out into Southern Province, and I left about 3 districts I didn't touch. I'll have to go back there. So we did a lot of Southern Province. I can safely say I've done Southern Province. And then we went into Copper Belt, a few of places there. Then I went into Northwestern Province. And again, we did from Ikelenge, district by district, Mwinilunga, Mshindamo, Kalumbila, Solwezi, Kasempa, Mufumbwe. It's been back to back. I've been in the car like 3+ weeks in the car, moving on the road. Are very, very exciting.
It's very difficult to traverse most of these terrains this time of the season. How are you finding that?
It's a lot of work must happen for you to go to Western Province. You have to struggle with a bad road. Now they are putting gravel on it. The contractor, I think bridges are falling off and so on. In Eastern Province, that's the same case. Many spots are completely gone. Bridges are down. I don't even know what will happen to some of those areas where the bridges are completely out, and they put detours down in the slopes. Very difficult to move. Of course, when you talk about the other one, the Lundazi, very difficult terrains. Southern Province, the Sesheke, Livingstone Road through Kazungula, pathetic. These other districts you can't even talk. You can't go to Shangombo, you can't. Sikongo, Kalabos Congo, pathetic. There's no road, literally. And this is the position. Even when you go to Northwestern Province, same story. You can imagine that in Northwestern, the new copper province, you go there, you only have a road up to Solwezi. When you leave Solwezi, you are now going into Kasempa. It's pathetic. You leave Solwezi, you go into, just after Karumbira, you're going into Mwinilunga. It's all bad. You can't even talk. So there is these are places where you have cabinet ministers sitting in government and saying that this government has delivered. What have they delivered? I can assure you the people are suffering out there. It's not anything we can talk about and be excited about. It's so bad, so very tiring. You need to have a fresh start candidate, strong and fit to traverse the country. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, I can imagine. Yeah. So, but very exciting. We met delegates, and we're preparing for this soon coming convention. Yes, General Assembly for our party. And so it's now per candidate. Where do you go, and what strategies are you using? Who are you meeting? I want to say now, and in good faith, that I think it's exciting on the ground. I have met personally over 900 delegates, and these I've met them one-on-one. I've got photos on each and every one of those delegates, one-on-one, with a photo.
Do they buy your vision?
You know what? It's again, we'll see how the convention comes, because you see sometimes people keep this thing in the heart. But I'm very convinced that we were able to speak person to person. In fact, we've tagged our campaign line as Monde, one-on-one with delegates for a fresh start. One-on-one with the delegates for a fresh start. So this is what we're doing. I'm doing complete grassroots politics. Grassroots. You have seen my colleagues are going. They'll tell you, no, we're in Eastern Province. They'll meet people in Chipata, and then they come out. Chipata is not Eastern Province. So for me, when I'm in Eastern Province, I'm going to those districts, district by district. When I'm in the Western Province, I'm starting with Nkema, a meeting in Nkema, that's a new district, meeting in Kaoma with Kaoma officials, meet Mangango people, okay, that's where I'm going, meet Luampa people. Even in Mongu, where the difference between Mongu and the new district, Limulunga, is just about less than 20 kilometers or so. I do a meeting in Mongu, finish. Go to do another meeting in Limulunga, finish. Go and see the people from Kalabo, finish. Go to see Congo people. I'm not bringing them in groups. One of the things I'm learning from this is that I'm interacting with the candidates, to delegates, now to understand the challenges of the structure. Because for me, beyond just being a candidate, I also want, when I win the elections, I should be able to know the people I'm dealing with. It must not be very difficult for me to assemble a team of people to work with. Now, if I'm going to meet people in groups of 500 people in a one hall with 50 chair ladies, 100 youth leaders, how will I know them? Today, when I go through my pictures and I'm checking any group picture, I'll know that this group picture, this is a team of people I made from Choma. These I made them in Pemba. These I made them in Nalolo. I know them. And we are talking one-on-one. We're talking. I'm very confident that this election, I'm going to pick it. But I leave it to the delegates again. They own the party, and they will decide when the time comes. And I hope we can do this thing very quickly.
Yeah, they own the party. The party doesn't look like it owns the people.
Yeah.
It's in all sorts of places now. First of all, the party itself is struggling with loyalty, constitution, party constitution, abidements, and let's just talk about the fact that there is now confusion in Patriotic Front, which I believe is what has led to the postponement of the convention. What really is the issue?
So one thing is very clear, and when we speak like this, those that are critics of the PF always run and say, no, this is your problem. Look, a political party by now is actually a constitutional mandate. In our Republican Constitution, political parties have got space there. There are articles which protect political parties, even in the manner they're going to act and do things. For example, any political party, for it to be registered, there must be, of course, a manifesto and a constitution, especially, that guides and governs them. What is happening to the PF is a clear case of UPND not wanting to see the PF on the ballot. And I'll explain why. And these matters, some of them are in court at different levels.
Right.
But we can always talk about the happenings and leave the part where the court will have to make a position, because these are matters. So when we say we're in court, what are we in court for? We are in court, for example, to challenge that convention which was illegally called upon by one Honorable Mao Sampa. And Honorable Mao Sampa has since reconciled with the party. And in his reconciliation, there was a point where they said, now we want a consent judgment to be signed. That matter has twisted. It's still dragging. And we as PF now, and I can tell you that when I say this, there's no vote to this, but as members and many members of the party have gotten to a point where we've now told ourselves it's clear that the UPND is not willing to let go the PF. And you can see how much that they've sponsored to stop the PF from doing anything, including the last attempt to stop us from having a convention by Chabinga, who went to the Kawe court, a matter that we've again challenged. And we hope that on the 3rd we'll get a fair ruling to enable us to proceed. So
on the 3rd of tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. And we hope that is going to take off. So that is one of the reasons that pulled us from not having this convention on 29th. Because we can even see that there was a trap on us. This I can tell you, there was a trap on us. Had we gone ahead to proceed with that convention, a lot of us, the leaders, would have been taken to prison.
Yeah.
To prison, yes.
For contempt. Yeah.
So you can even see, because, I mean, if there is a matter of urgent in nature, why will you even know that there's a 29th event, you push it to the 3rd. So even the 3rd tomorrow, we'll wait and hear how it's going to go. So you can even see the level of protection around these people that are fighting the PF. And we keep saying ourselves, even as I go around the country, I keep telling the people that for us as PF, it's not really about that document, which, again, my brother Chabinga goes around and says, I wake up, I check, I find my certificate is still here, then I'm happy, then the PF is gone. No, the PF is a people. It's not a paper. And I keep equating this to a person, you and me, Mr. Banda. Today we wake up, or I wake up and I tell you, Mr. Banda, your marriage is no longer there because I'm having your certificate. And yet you are living with your wife and children. Everything is on. We as the PF members are tightly together. We are so married that no one breaks us, not even that paper. But this is one thing that I'm looking at. If I were this government, by now, they should have helping them. The people out here are still working together, and there is no PF that is. The PF has gone into an alliance, the Chabinga PF with the UPND. It's only Chabinga who's gone there. The rest of the PF is intact. I'm telling you, I'm from meeting structures. I've been everywhere meeting structures. In fact, I can tell you that on the list of our colleagues, the candidates, at least I know what is happening to each candidate and where they're going. I am the most traveled in the little 1 month. I've been everywhere where none has been. When they go there at provincial capitals, they come out. And this is a message also to, by extension, our delegates, that they must be able to know that any one of the presidents that want to become their president must really visit them. It doesn't make sense that you get a candidate who wants to be a president, wants to get you to stop everything you are doing, and he meets you at the provincial capital for 30 minutes or 1 hour. And then you have to go back journeys of 2-3 days. I mean, if you can do that to your leaders before you become president, what more when you become president? It's a core, it's a challenge. But it's up to them. Again, I'm speaking this fairly. I would have just kept quiet and remained with my formula.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that in doing this also, the structures get revived. So if you are going to the structures, go and meet them. Don't go to a provincial capital and get them to suffer.
Yeah.
And also remember, National Mobilization Chairman of the party. And so I don't want to be mobilizing people into the party and then someone is demobilizing the people by getting them to places where when they go there, sometimes they're stranded, there's no transport, they complain and so on. It's not a good thing. So for me, what I'm saying is that the PF is actually very intact.
What is surprising?
Very intact.
What is surprising is that much as as the Patriotic Front is being fought against the Chabinga clique, I'm also saying my expectations were that all of you would have remained very united.
Yeah.
But again, the team that should have remained very united is again fighting. We are talking of the given Lubinda, and obviously we heard that he made appointments, and the aggrieved camp is equally fighting back and saying the appointments and whatever is done is illegal. Again, that is what the people do not expect. Yeah. But why are we here?
So what is happening to our party is that there's so much happening that some of the decisions you are having to see, there's been serious engagements under the carpet, right, where we are talking. But in any organization, there comes a point at which certain decisions will have to be made. Some of the decisions may be realistic, others may not be realistic. Like take, for example, now, there is a serious call from our members saying, look, we think when a party is going to the convention, and with the convention just around the corner, you don't make so much drastic changes and, conflicting each other as much. These are matters we are dealing with. Okay. And I want to tell you that I've been at helm of ensuring that we can try and get some of these matters talked about. And some of the issues, we're actually sorting them out. Remember, we're an organization, and not everyone will have like minds. Right. There could be distractors and so on, but what percentage? To a very small percent. So right now, what we are having to work around is to ensure that we can be able to bridge the gaps. We want to come out more united than ever before. It will not do that while we are pointing fingers at Chabinga and his team, then we also are subtracting from amongst ourselves. So that is a serious concern. And I hear you, and it's not just you. Of course, I know that you are bringing out that which the people are really talking about out there. Because, I mean, stakeholders of the PF are a lot of stakeholders, not just for us, the members or the leaders.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even in your traversing the country, obviously, I mean, the structures are aware of these things that we have brought out. What are they saying to you?
So the message from the structures is very clear. And let me also say now that because all of us are representatives of the people, if I'm a leader, I'm not representing myself. And when we go around the country in that fashion, and we have met the people and we've spoken to the people, the best I would do myself, and I want to tell you and tell the nation, is that I'll stand by the views of the people. And the people are not happy with the manner in which, with a short spell of time, we are having to disagree like that. And the call is upon us, the leaders, now, all of us. At the point where we are now, there is no one who's wrong or who's right. None. The core is all of us must do the correct thing. There's no longer anyone who's right. Whether President Lubinda's decisions are right or wrong, whether those who are aggrieved are right or wrong, it doesn't matter anymore. Where we are now, we are at a point where all of us must do the right thing. And this is a call I'm giving to our members. This is a call I'm giving even to our leaders, that this is no longer just about the PF. This is actually a matter of the nation. The people out there are looking out to the PF as the alternative, as a solution to their problems. There are so many problems here. When we start to unbundle them, you actually see. When you open the phone lines here, you will see, Mr. Zachariah, that the people will actually be calling on us to show leadership and become different from what we are seeing of this current government now. So this is not child play. This is not a matter of just the PF. It's a national matter. And we need all of us to rise above board, to put down our egos and be able to do the correct thing, because otherwise, why are we in politics? Personally, Why will I be in politics if we're not offering solutions to our people? The people out there are saying unite. The people out there are saying stop the squabbles. The people out, this is what the people are saying. The people out there are saying, please minimize, concentrate, unite. If we're not united, serious matters of national interest are going to be passing. Bill 7 is now flying very high, and we are fighting. Okay? Wrong groups are going to do sugarcoating, agreeing with the president, and we are watching. So what are we doing? Voter registration is just passed. How much have we done? So we, as the largest party, not even the largest opposition, now the PF is the largest party. You can even see it. So we, as the largest party, can't afford to now engage into a gear of fighting. We would rather one person is out of the way than the millions of the Zambians having to suffer as a result of us not organizing ourselves. That is very, very serious, and I stand for that. And I'm standing with the people that are calling for unity in our party. I'm standing with the people that are calling for us to work together and the true reconciliation within ourselves.
What is your vision for the party? Should you become president of the party?
So for me, here is a matter. When I become president of the PF, we will ensure that not just should we get to unite within ourselves, but also to bring back even those that left the party. Many people left the PF at a time when we lost elections. Some of them had personal fights, others, whatever the reason that they left for. We within the little time to election, when I become PF president, will be to unify the party in totality, truthfully so, to engage with members so we can be able to listen to them, and to grow the party by way of membership. The cries of the people on the ground are very clear that they want a united front. My vision further will be to work with the other opposition political parties to ensure that we sincerely get to a table where we're going to agree and work together. You know, it doesn't matter how strong that the UPND or how much of state machinery they want to use. When we are united as opposition, there is no way that the UPND can be able to win us. We saw this in Malawi, when people were very sure that there is no way President Mutharika can come back to power. But when the opposition united, you saw the victory. It was so clear and landslide. So for me, it's not just to nurture the PF. No, when I become president, is also to work hand in hand with the other opposition political party to foster a strong opposition front that is going to take away this government. Because only then can we be able to achieve.
Yes. Now, just as well, you preempted the conversation around Bill 7. And of course, it's the whole process that we need to talk about, the amendment of the Constitution. This has been labeled as a journey for the UPND's victory, some sort of automatic victory if the Constitution is amended. Others feel it has good content, but of course, the process is not right. What really is your stance on this amendment of the Constitution?
I keep saying that, look, this is not the first time that the government or Zambia is having to amend its constitution. And there's always been a standard procedure. First of all, there must be someone in the country raising their hand that we feel that this article in the constitution is not well sitting. It needs amendment. We feel. So different groups of the society will go around and start to talk about the areas we are so detrimental that are hindering the progress of the country. For example, the Law Association of Zambia can rise and say, this article is not correct. The students' unions will rise and say, this article is not correct. The chiefs, the church leaders, mother bodies, individual citizens will rise. And once they have done that, we've always gotten to a point where now it's very clear that the country needs to do amendments. I will give you an example of the 2016 constitutional amendments that happened. It was very clear that from time immemorial, there were matters which were pressing that the country talked about. Running mate for avoidance of a by-election in the presidency. Election date one of those which was critical. Before, the president in an election year can go as far as he wants. He will just announce in the next 1 month we have elections. That is now enshrined in our constitution. 50+1, very thorny articles that were required to be in our constitution. And it took one son of the soil, the late President Edgar Lungu, to rise above board and say, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. These articles must be enacted. And the process was started with drafts, parliament, back to back, and people negotiated, people talked until the constitution was amended. The goodness with this constitution that was amended, the 2016 constitution, is that in itself, it has a safety valve. In there was created the constitutional court. The purpose of the constitutional court now is to make sure that if there is any lacuna or suspected lacuna or any gray area in the constitution, you take it to the constitutional court, the court is going to interpret that article, and it becomes part of our constitution, and we move on. A perfect example, in 2016, ministers, and I was one of them, stayed in office after having interpreted the constitution in our own way before the Concord. What was the article? How does a minister exit office? You go and check the current constitution now. You see minister exists by one if there is a new president, if a member is mentally unstable, if a member is declared bankruptcy, if a member is, so there are those. But out of those, there is nowhere where it says when parliament is dissolved. So you looking at that, we're very sure. The LAS, the UPND, and a few other stakeholders took the matter to court, the Concord, to interpret that part of the constitution. In their interpretation, it became very clear that at the dissolution of parliament, there is no minister to stay in office. Is that still a matter now? No. It's been interpreted. Which again quickly takes me to how hypocritical that this government is. In their amendments of their Bill 7, they're actually proposing that a minister must go up to election. The same matter they took to court, very hypocritical. So where is their morality? So for me, coming back to this Bill 7, first of all, there's no one who raised a hand over any article in the Constitution, save the president who came out and said, there are lacunas in this Constitution. There are lacunas in this Constitution. If I want, I can stay in power forever. Abuse. Abuse. Any constitution, any governing law, any contract has got weak points where if you get an abusive person, a dictator, they will end up to abuse that article, in that fashion. But it's standard practice. So they started by saying there's no amendment. Then there was an amendment. Then the Minister of Information says there's no constitutional amendment. Then eventually, we saw the Minister of Justice going around the country. Quickly, no, we're amending the Constitution. Then the matter was taken to court, okay, by one Celestine Mkandila and the Honorable Munia Zulu. The ruling came in the favor of Zambians to stop this process. And this is a matter people are grappling with. And there was lined up what must be done to do this. Unlike what is happening now. I'll tell you, for example, that even the Constitution, the constituting of the committee,
Yeah.
okay, look, it's not correct. Usually what should happen is that when, for example, you are appointing members of a technical committee, you appoint bodies. You don't appoint individuals. So if you are calling mother church bodies, you tell them there should be a standard print. The NCC of MMD in 2006, I think, yeah, it was very clear. Mother church bodies, 3 members shall come. Student unions, 2 members shall come. Universities, public universities, 1 member shall come. You outline it like that. So it becomes the role of those bodies who've been appointed or subscribed to now appoint the people who they'll submit to the Secretary to Cabinet, who then is now going to put together the list of those names. This particular one, they were appointing individuals. So they will check, okay, Economic Association of Zambia, who do we appoint? Anyone they want from there. And say, this one is coming from the board. Law Association, who do we appoint? Any lawyer that they want. Church mother bodies, they check, okay, which one? The SDA, for example, my church, they just come and say, oh, we are picking Dr. Vani Munyumbwe. Not the church. The church never chose. The organization never chose. Even that is a breach So you are putting together people that you want to put together so they can look at articles that you want. Then when they are put together, what did this government do? Instead of allowing them now to go through the country to get submissions, they were given the same report that was given, which was rejected at Parliament. Go through this and bring a report. Hence, you can even see quickly they've brought it. Even before the man reads the report, he already says, thank you so much for a good job, well done. You've not yet read the report. What is good about a report, a big document you've not even read? So for me, that is where it is. But true to the sentiments of the Zambian people, the UPND clearly are taking this amendment as their lifeline. For them, without this Bill 7, they can't pass the next election. So watch the type of somersaulting they're going to do in this if they're given a mandate to go ahead to amend the constitution. Zambian people will be shocked. In fact, even those that are supporting this constitution amendment process through Bill 7, I wish that they know by how much power they're trying to give to a one individual and how that it will be difficult for them to uproot this one individual. But I want to say to the UPND again, with or without Bill 7, the Zambian people will vote out the UPND. And I can assure you that the people are going to come out to vote in numbers. But here is a comfort. When I win the presidency, we are going to reverse to status quo over our constitution, not this Bill 7. In fact, we will go further to make sure that even the Bill of Rights is going to be attended to at that time. Because these are thorny issues. You know, you can take people for granted, but the people are strong. In fact, one singer, Bob Marley, says, if you are a big tree, we are the small axes. If you are a big tree, we are the small axes, sharpened to bring you down. The Zambian people, I want to ask you out there, become small axes sharpened to bring down this government that has no regard for yourselves now. We can't afford to have, look, 50 plus 1, for example, is one of the highest standards in this world. There are very few countries in the world that have accommodated 50 plus 1 in their constitutions. And this is what we have today. For you to be president, you must hit the threshold of 50 plus 1. You want to take that on the sides and you want to use the parliament to be the ones to appoint a president. I mean, Zambian people want to appoint a president. This and many other more articles that the people of Zambia have rejected is what we want to be taken back to. This, let them go ahead with Bill 7 with arrogance. Even if they enacted it, this bill will still, the constitution will still be re-amended after August next year. That constitution will come back to our normal constitution, but UPND is still going to lose. As long as the people of Zambia will still be here, they will never vote for this wrong constitution that is meant just to prolong one man's stay in power.
The president has categorically challenged people like yourselves who say, look, if you are aggrieved about this whole entire amendment, go to court. Is there a room at this stage of the constitution amendment to go to court and stop it?
Yeah, I mean, there's already a man I've seen who's taken the matter to court. One constitutional lawyer has taken this matter back to court, and the matter was already in court. And I can tell you that what the court prescribed is not what this government is actually trying to do. So for me, I can still tell you that you can talk about court, you can talk about lobby with, because as further said, you lobby with your MPs if you are really aggrieved about this. Let me tell you, there are only 156 members of parliament. There are millions of Zambian people out here. So whether the entire parliament is going to vote with him, the Zambian people will never vote with him. And for me, all of these are kicks of a dying horse. Had the UPND delivered on their promises, I can assure you this Bill 7 would not have been an issue. They would have easily withdrawn it. Right now, the decision is, if we withdraw, we are gone. So we are better off keeping it. That's why you see the arrogance. What is in it that the people are complaining and still want to proceed with it? So for me, it's very shocking. They are the same people who rejected Bill 10 and thinking that Bill 10 today, what is right with this one? Same thing. So whether Bill 10 went through, PF was still going to lose the election. Whether UPND's Bill 7 goes through, UPND will still lose the election. The mandate is on the people, the leaders of this country, the people on. And this is Zambia we're talking about. We have seen in this country how president wanted to prolong their stay in power. It never worked. And it will not work on this one. West still has not even delivered nothing. What has he delivered? I can challenge anyone. What has he delivered? Apart from just occupying the seat. Nothing. So, they're saying, the Africans saying that he who the gods want to destroy, he first make mad. Clearly you can see. People are speaking. You want to be adamant. And you even become so arrogant as if you own the country. Look at the derogatory statements that were made at the church. The Catholic Church stood with UPND. And we as PF, we thought, oh, these people. But here we are today. They mean well for this country. Look at the insults which were held at them. How do you do that? The Catholic Church is one of the serious major stakeholders of Zambia. So you can't afford to go out. When we heard of dialogue at State House, we were excited. We said, oh, well, even if some of us had the reservations, and I'm not disappointed that the outcome is what it is now. We all knew that there was nothing coming out. As long as it's around the stay of the UPND in power, prolonged stay of UPND in power, then they were going to do that.
You are at the verge of losing another seat as Patriotic Front, in the fact that the Chawama constituency member of parliament, Honorable Tasila Lungu, Chawama has been declared vacant. This is based on the speaker, and of course, this again hits you badly as a party. How do you intend to restore this?
So here's what is going to happen. In all of these things, the Zambian people are also watching. So now you want to call for a by-election. How many months are we from dissolution of parliament? May. So this is December. So you're talking of January, February, March, April. Because that thing is going to be around early May. The parliament will be dissolved. So you want to call for an election now in Chawama. Be it you want to fast track it. For whatever the reason, you want to fast track it. So in trying to fast track this, what would be the achievement of the UPND? Number one, they could have been thinking, first of all, this is what they're thinking, that reduce the numbers in parliament, because definitely they want to push Bill 7 quickly to come. So they'll be thinking, oh, Tasila and any other seats, let's quickly nullify them so that we can reduce the numbers from the opposition that is critical about these matters. So here the intention is to reduce the numbers in parliament if they achieve with Bill 7. The other matter is they want to call for an election to show that they are popular within 4 months before parliament is dissolved. Wastage of resources. I've actually seen that there are even adverts from ECZ calling for by-elections on councillors and so on and so forth. There's a list of those by-elections coming 4 months before elections. And you've got a constitution that actually guides that 180 days, is it before elections or before dissolution of parliament? Whichever one of the two. Really, for me, doesn't matter. Because I think if it's 180 days before parliament, there's 3 months there and then 3 months outside parliament. You are talking of about May, April, February. So why would you want to do a by-election between now and February? And we saw the opposition through their leader at a time, then President Chagwa, HH, condemning by-elections coming just about before, round the corner. And this is one of the things that were being fought, hence the amendment of the Constitution in 2016 to stop these unnecessary by-elections, which are just a waste on our resources. So whether it is their ego to fulfill their authority and power that we have dissolved the seat of the son of the late president, whose father is still in the mortuary, because this government took the family not to bury their father wherever. Now they're dissolving his seat. Whether it's we can do it, whether it's pomp of power. Again, this power, I want to say to the UPND that it's given to them, deposited to them, the Zambian people. And the Zambian people are watching. How could they surely expect that they take the family to court, delay burial, and then they want the child, the daughter to the president, be at parliament? How can that possibly be? How will she debate in parliament when the father is in the mortuary? So for me, these are moral issues. For me, these I think are good for us as opposition to watch how the UPND is fast falling into a bottomless pit. Bottomless pit. In terms of governance system, what will the UPND show that they've done correct? In terms of infrastructure development, what will the UPND show that they've done for the people? In terms of economic changes, what will the UPND show the country that they've tried to do? None. Apart from the lies they told the people, and people believed their lies, and they voted for them. Today, a man who was voted for by 2.8 million Zambians comes and says, Zambians hate me. No, Zambians don't hate him. What the Zambians hate are the lies and failure to deliver promises that were given to them. And because of that, this number, I can't wait for 13th of August. If at all the constitution will not be changed to suit their want. If 13th of August is going to come and Zambian people are going to vote, I can't wait for that day. And I pray to God that He gives us life to reach that time so that we can see how the UPND government will come out of this mess that they've put themselves into.
Now, there's one issue that I would like to hear your view on, and this is the fact that the United States of America has issued travel ban notice to Zambian government and gives 60 days notice. This obviously it comes with a number of unconfirmed reasons. Some sources would say that this comes as a result of the demands from the US and asked for the identity of certain officials or government officials for transparency on accountability, on suspicion that government is suspected to have been shielding them from being held accountable. One of the issues that is coming out strongly is that this has come as a result of unexplained huge sums of money that has been transferred abroad. I think one of them was that 3.5 million. Is it million or 2 billion? 3.5 billion dollars that was obviously transferred abroad from this country. This was according to the FIC report. And I'm told that this ban is as a result of a lot of information that or audit that has been released, and the number of government officials have been found wanting, yet the government has shielded a few number of officials from being accountable. I mean, what does this do? I mean, if we get this ban, what does this do to our country, especially the economy aspect of it?
So, quite true. And all of us are watching and are seeing activities around the governance system, for example, the manner in which corruption is being fought in this country, the manner in which undemocratic tendencies, okay, some of them hinging around the human rights issues. And again, in the spirit of dialogue and consulting each other, we've seen how embassies have tried to engage with this government. One of them, the United States of America's embassy in Zambia, and many others. And all of these have fallen on deaf ears through this government. And I can tell you that it's not just the United States of America. You may also wish to know that even the Schengen visas are being denied to be given to Zambian leaders, including members of parliament. So This is very serious. We are slowly getting locked out of the world. So for me, the UPND has a lot to do. They have a lot of work to do. But the one thing the Zambian people will never allow them is for them to isolate Zambia from the world. Okay? We are part of the globe and we want to enjoy services, innovations, trade businesses, and so on, interact with the world. This is coming, for example, one of the reasons that was given on the Schengen visas was that, why do you want to bring an entourage of 18 people? Where are you getting the money from? So all of these issues are coming around the issues of governance system of this country. Inflated the travel delegation of the president, ministers, directors from our government, and the world is wondering. So they've put this stop. You recall that the United States did not award visas to a delegation of the head of state to go for that the UN
The UNGA, yes.
UNGA in the United States. And the reasons, sometimes they don't even give you reasons. They just deny. So when they deny, then we'll go into suspicions. Why is it so? By the way, Zambia is not born yesterday. We are 61 years. We are past 61 years of independence. We've been independent for over 61 years. And with that, this is the first time, so strange, that we can be getting such bad
Sanctions,
relations.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. And because in fact, we're better off if they had declared these sanctions. But for us, these are even undeclared sanctions, but we're already feeling the effects thereof. So for me, it's a pity. But let the UPND gauge themselves and see whether or not they still remain that which they were boasting about themselves, that no, we are number one marketers, we have gone through the world. Now they can't go to the world because the world is saying no to them. There was no value that this UPND government has created to the world. The world has evaluated them. Maybe they went too much out of the country and they've just been through. You also know that this president is the most traveled president of all the presidents. We've even lost the count. Just within the first year, the man had already done over 40 trips, which was almost equivalent to those presidents who were in power for 5 years, 10 years. Now, no one talks about how many travels. They've just said, leave him. And yet he called his predecessors, Vasco da Gama, that they're traveling too much. This man even goes for a book launch in South Africa. And Zambians have not forgotten that. So in all of these tours, what has come out? Travel bans, sanctions, and so on. So it's a pity.
But when he had the presser, he spoke about how Zambia has become a center of trade. He's talking about how everyone is coming here for meetings. And that's true. I mean, we had a couple of delegates that were in this country, the president of Israel. I think we had a high official from China. And these, on to what he says, that this has become a center of meetings. It's evident, no?
No, so you see, the UPND have a tendency to think that when they do one thing, maybe because all this time when they were in opposition, they kept refusing to recognize their friends who were in power. And so they shut out themselves completely off what was happening. It's not the first time that we are having all of these presidents coming into the country. These meetings, the meetings have even gone down. Which other bigger meeting you can talk about in real terms that has happened in this country that you can say unprecedented meeting? Which one? These meetings have been no more scheduled meetings. But if these meetings are happening and that Zambia has become a center of trade, let's zero it down now to how is that impacting the Zambian people out of those meetings? Because out of those meetings, if you say it's a center of trade, then the trade must filter to the Zambian people to now appreciate their lives. Now, this government, if we look at even the cost of living, they'll tell you, we've done everything, but the cost of living is the only thing we failed to do. Now, the cost of living, I want to say to these people again, I'm an economist myself, qualified. that the cost of living is everything, and it is a translation of the economic activities. So if the mining sector, it will impact the cost of living. If the education sector is doing very well, it will impact cost of living. If the tourism sector is doing very well, it will impact the cost of living. If the agricultural sector, oh my God, the agricultural sector is in a total mess than ever before in this country. We've never seen the agricultural sector go to its worst than now. I was laughing when they
Even
were
having recorded a bumper harvest?
No, that bumper harvest, that 3.6 million metric tons of maize that was recorded. Ask yourself a question. What did the UPND do to make that harvest become what it became? So, in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, go and check the records. We were hitting 3.3 million, 3.6 million, 2017, 3.6 million. Now, if that was 2016, this is 2025, almost 10 years in terms of a gap. You still want to think that, even if you are static, government not providing fertilizer, not for providing seed, fertilizer is expensive, twice the amount it was in under PF, seed twice the amount, fuel twice the amount for tractors, even to transport your fertilizer. You still want to think that the numbers can still remain the same. What about the population growth? What about the new farmers who are joining the block? That in itself, if you check, there's no improvement that this government has done in the agricultural sector to create the 3.6 million, other than the population growth. That is it. More farmers just joined the sector, and that has increased our. But then with the numbers that we have, hence the deficit in terms of our mealie meal, in terms of our maize, because the consumption is high in terms of the agricultural sector produce. So what is happening clearly here is that if this was genuine, mealie meal, cost of mealie meal should go down. Inputs should go down. But you have a government that to date, they're still December, they've not even yet paid the farmers for their maize. What a government. And they want to extend their stay in power. So you see, all of those factors we talked about, for example, the bans, the unaccountability in terms of resources, transfers of funds, and so on, that is what gets dictators want to cling on to power. And this government, you never know. Why are they insisting on Bill 7? By hook or crook, they want it to happen. They know that when they fold their mats and leave government, then people will know them and they'll be exposed. So they hold on to power without even delivering services to protect their wrongs. And usually we always know about what people are doing in offices when they're out. You know that, eh? Usually when they leave power, then we hear of scandals. They will come out next year after August 13th. They'll come out because this government is going to go.
If they come out and confidently you come in, you know that you're going to find the energy crisis at its highest.
Yeah.
Would that be your priority? And how do you intend to resolve it?
The energy sector, in terms of the energy crisis, for example, the power that we're talking about. Look, within 5 years of ECL's term, we were able to move power from 1.6 thousand megawatts to 3.6. 2,000 megawatts of power was added to the grid. Okay? So, if 2,000 happened within 5 years, with the UPND now, they should have known that they can still put 2,000. And West is still, remember they condemned PF that everything PF did was inflated the figures. So them with the non-inflated figures, they should have now done 4,000 megawatts of power to put up in this country, where we've been developing our hydropower stations in the southern, which is along the Zambezi and along the Kafue River. What about the other rivers up north, where there's too much water now? Because our target eventually, if the energy sector really should be part of our economical activities to translate into meeting our budget requirements and so on, we are supposed to be going to 10,000 megawatts of power in the country. So that can be created, but not on the Kafue or on the Zambezi. This government, for me, when I become president, I will concentrate on the other water bodies. Put up their 5,000 megawatts of power to go to 10,000, which will be enough for our country and exports in Congo, in Angola, in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe, and all the other neighboring countries, Namibia, those that are relying on us. We've got 40% of the water bodies which can push our turbines. So concentrate your efforts in the other region. On top of that, concentrate your efforts on renewable solutions. The solar, for example. Since UPND came into, they have not put on the grid 100 megawatts of power. They have not put on the grid. Let them show me where they've put 100 megawatts of power.
The Chubombo solar plant?
The Chisamba.
Yes.
The Chisamba solar plant is at 20. You've read those reports. There is envisaged to go to 100. It's not yet there. Elsewhere, it's 5 megawatts. Other than the projects that PF already did and they were complete, that's why now they're talking about completing them. But it's too late now. So for me, the energy sector is as good as any industry with an economical drive. Using the 40% of water bodies, we can create more hydropower stations up north. Those small hydropower stations we have at Chishimba and so on and so forth, Ruansef, we can expand them to bigger numbers and be able to generate more power, which will never be a waste. At any given time, you've got more energy or more power, you always find where to sell it, and it's very expensive. So for me, that is going to be sorted. It's going to be sorted. But of course, working with the country. Every Zambian must play a part in the development of the country. One of the things that is taking us down is the fact that we are limiting our human resource in doing these things. So you've got engineers at ZESCO. Some of them are just lying home. You've taken them out, maybe because you don't like them, maybe you don't like where they come from, maybe you don't like how. Every Zambian must participate in the national development. So every sector for me will not look at who comes from where. For me, I'll look at anyone who is able and will put them. And because of these same things, we are having to get the country go into losses because you don't have the right people. The right fight and trained by this government and the citizens of this country are being put on the sides. Okay? They are being put on the sides. And every one of us now are even scared to even say that they're being put on the sides because of tribe. We need to start talking about these issues. You heard what happened at Ratsa, where a man, their CEO of the road transport, RT, what do you call that department again?
RTSA, yeah.
Road Traffic and Safety Agents. That also is a waste of resources. When I become president, that one will take it out immediately. That will be a police department. That's Ratsa. It's a police department. It's just a wastage in terms of our resources. So you can see what happened there. The man says, no, there was a man from the Eastern Province and another one from the Western Province. And he says, no, we can't take these two. So if you're looking for real productivity as a country, let every Zambian participate in the development of the country.
This is the Tuesday edition of The Burning Issue. My guest is Mr. Greyford Monde, who is the Patriotic Front aspiring presidential candidate. He is a former cabinet minister. I will, at the tail end of our conversation, be asking briefly about yourself, because it's important that candidates are known, especially in terms of their background, their history, and so on. So we'll leave that at the very end. We will now be taking phone calls on 0955 221515, and not forgetting that you too can send to us your questions via Facebook. We'll be grateful to read your comments. Remember, our Facebook page is 5FM Radio Zambia. And not forgetting that we are also live on Isunga Radio, that is in Northern Province, and of course live also on Katete FM in Eastern Province. We are live in Central Province on Spice FM and ZFM. Spice is in Kabwe and ZFM in Kapiri, Tuta FM in Mansa, and Copper Belt. We are on Platinum Radio in dollar to be precise. The number again is 0955-221515. Let's take the first call. Good morning.
Good morning, Bwana Zaki.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Please share your name and where you're calling us from.
You are talking to Brother Namanda in Kampumba here.
Yes, Brother Namanda.
Honorable Monde, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Namanda. How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you?
No, I'm well. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yes, you've got a minute, Brother Namanda.
Yes. What I'm saying is, Mr. Monde, you were in PS, you were a minister. All those plans you are trying to elaborate, how did you tell Ethical and the executive? You were sitting in cabinet. Why didn't you advise them that let's put up these solar plants and whatever so that you will end your schedule? In 2020, there was a said in 2019, 2020. Why didn't you tell them? So do they want to speak the loudest as if you know more than those who are in government? When you are the ones who brought these havoc, the money you borrowed as PF will not be Mirandra. Is it not in Manja plant in my mind? They take a Rapanga solar plant every province. Munasanga po solar plant. Unaleta po solar plant. Drama zose mnamwe. Wero manje mfuna mkasikamba maningi. Ungati mga. All these problems we are going through, you've been defaulted in my debt in Congo. You started defaulting. Your HH voices are sort of here, restructured the debt, but you want to speak the loudest. Let's be sincere, you guys. UPF will destroy this country. If I were you, I would not even speaking. Because you left this country almost a shell, completely bankrupt because of careless expenditure. We saw people working to Mimanauko to China when the government is up. Have you forgotten? People became rich. And I was 16 years. One after the farm, moto. Drama Zakuba, drama Zabom. At the expense of people who are suffering, the Zambian people. Today, me and Zaki, we are the ones who are paying the debt which you left. Sure, today, Church is saying we are going to plant solar plants at every constituency. Has increased the CDF. Look at free education. When you were saying free education, it is not attainable. Church has done it. Look at the thousands of people he has employed. He has done it. Look at the capital fertilizer company. He has done it. Mining companies. He has done it. So let's
your minute is up, Brother Namanda.
In conclusion, Greyford Monde, before you talk about stabilizing the economy of this country, because it is you, bro, go and sort out that messing PF. If you have failed to agree in PF, can you come and
Thank you, Brother Namanda.
That messing PF.
Thank you very much. Let me pick some more on 0955-221515. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Manda calling you in Chazanga. Here.
Mr. Manda, please go ahead.
Yes. The guest, good morning.
Good morning, Amanda. Kulibwanji kuchazanga.
Boss, we are in trouble, Monday, with this government. The government, it has brought more harm than any government. You know, since 19, I was born during Kaunda time. You know, when Kaunda was saying, this man from Southern cannot leave the nation, he meant what he was saying. I'm telling you, we are in trouble. Do not be moved, Mr. Monde, over all these European callers. You know, these are the people who go to the CDF. My brother applied to CDF. When I apply, you attack. My brother and Vatonga Vazi. But my brother was never given because he comes from Murundaz. He was never given. But those guys took the CDF. So what we are trying to say is this, Mr. The reality is, I've never seen a government which has failed rather than this government. To be realistic, is trying by all means to so that he can win election, kuleta vizumateni, mapiu, of which is Pangana sense. He has failed to deliver completely. Look, the whole 4 years, more than 4 years, he wants to in trouble with power. Apamanje, we are approaching toward direction. Masola. Duping us Zambians. We will not Zambians now. We young and this what is happening. We won't tolerate that. This man just needs to go. He said, look, he failed to put like Rungu, Mariruata. Instead, he give up. Can he rule the nation? No, that's why he has failed. You can't be the president.
Zachariah, your time is up.
In conclusion, sir, we are together with you. Please,
Thank you.
Team up together in my opposition so that we remove this government which has brought more harm than anything.
Thank you. Thank you. Delphine Chisha on Facebook says, well spoken, Honorable Monde. Speak about MPs receiving envelopes to support Bill 7, right? That allegation as well. So maybe in addition to the two callers, we can take that issue that Delphine Chisha has brought out.
So very well. I think for me, really, callers like Namanda, Mr. Namanda, a well-known UPND caller, and I would have been very sad if he didn't call. And usually, every time I come on a radio program, I love them coming to say what they say. This is now rhetoric. This is rhetoric. What they talk about by UPND now, especially these their callers, Zambian people are actually detesting. You can imagine that immediately finishes his call, a man who is feeling the sufferings, who's not benefiting from the thefts of this government, is just calling and genuinely is talking about it. Did you even rate the two people and their tones, Mr. Manda and Mr. Namanda? Mr. Namanda is coming out annoyed. He really doesn't want anyone to move away the plate where his cheese is. Talking about the things that is talked about, debt. Debt is increasing now under this government. What restructuring are they talking about? There is no restructuring. Debt is increasing now in this government than under PF. Within a short spell of time, I needed to give you the figures. UPND cadres are now richest people on the streets. Who doesn't know that? And this man can make a call, tell the Zambian people that the PF people they went to dance the money, and they, being what I am, what was not good in PF will never be good under UPND. And some of those things, we as PF have come out to say, we are sincerely sorry about that. And this is one of the reasons why when we went into our post-mortem, we said this part must rebrand. And so one of the measures to do that is to bring up people, for example, myself, who were not involved at a time when we were losing power. So what was wrong then will still be wrong now. So for UPND, if they're in a competition of the then PF, it will not do. So Solar Plants is talking about free education. Education, we keep saying. When PF came into power, up to grade 7, it was free. Grade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it was 1,000 kwacha. The time PF came into power, PF dropped it to 200 for those in the urban and 150 for those in the rural. What UPND did is just to take out the 200 and the 150. That is all they've done. But when you look at the impact of the economy against this 200, the paltry 200 and the 150, it's completely nothing. Under PF, in terms of the education sector, there was a serious facelift in the education sector. Expansion of space. Universities were built. I keep asking. I wish Mr. Amanda would write even a text there to show us. Let Mr. Amanda and his UPND people tell us one university, public university. PF found 2, we left 7. Let UPND show us one public university that they built. Maybe that is even too much. Let's zero it. One secondary school from grade 8 to grade 12 that the UPND has built. From a scratch. Green field. Cut down the trees the way PF did. And build a full secondary school. Boarding school, none. All they're talking about is expansion. Schools which are already existing, they put 1 by 3 classroom blocks, 1 by 2 classroom blocks, and they're saying they are building. Zambians are not mediocre. They are expecting the best for their people. Under PF, when there's load shedding, and which is what UPND went to protest against, even telling the people that in Dubai there is no load shedding because the people think. People were complaining of 5 hours of load shedding. 5 hours of load shedding against the 24. 3 hours of load shedding. These ones is 3 hours of power. Even that you have to pray very hard in your region, in your area, that there must be a government official leaves. That's what you can have 3 hours. 21 hours of darkness is what we're experiencing. Sometimes 48 hours, no power at all. And Mr. Amanda will say, no, all the problems that are there now is because of PF. 5 years you still want to talk about PF, the government, the Zambian people said no to. By the way, Mr. Amanda, the Zambian people have now read you through. And they know that to compare you and the PF is far much better. You can't even be compared to what the PF did. The agricultural sector, for example, he didn't want to talk about it. When they were selling the maize in 2021, they said, no, PF never paid for these farmers. It was in September. And they said they were going to pay the farmers within 2 weeks. To date, farmers are still suffering. The maize they could have sold in July and buy seed and fertilizer in July or August before the commodity became expensive because of demand. Now they're buying it twice the amount. A farmer is complaining there, and Mr. Amanda still wants to continue eating. He doesn't want his cheese to be moved. The Zambian people are moving the cheese away from Mr. Amanda on the 13th of August, and Mr. Amanda and your UPND government, you have no cause to look at the PF now. Your failures can never be subscribed now to the PF, because PF built infrastructure, they built hospitals, they gave the farmers the better seed, they gave them more bags of fertilizer. The PF government, this is solar, the solar plants is talking about. They were boasting about the ZNS solar plants. Those were built by PF. All of those three were built by PF. By now we're hoping. So when you talk about cheap meal from ZNS, please just remember that it is the PF that did that. Which solar plant did they make? The UPND. Show me one solar plant you built. The Chongwe one, the Monze one, all of those you see. So these have just been thriving at lies, but your lies will never happen. Mamanda, I want to thank you. Zangaziko Mkwambili Mamanda, he say, as the opposition, the way you've said that we need to unite, will never let you down. And at least you have my word. I will stand with what you, the people, want. If you want us to unite, we will unite. And we are doing this not for ourselves. We are doing this for the people of Zambia that are suffering. Employment, Mr. Amanda says that he has employed highly. With load shedding, does he know? First of all, for a country, it's not just public employment. There is no government in this world that can employ the majority of the people. It is the public and the private. The private sector, in fact, employs more people than the public. So what does the public do? The government must create conducive environment to allow the public to thrive and be able to employ. Big companies are shutting down because of the 2 hours of power. Job losses have overrun the amount of those 20,000 people who were employed in the health sector, and the teachers 11,000. Those now, what the government has lost as a result of the bad governance of the UPND, by way of making sure that they don't give power to the people, is much more detrimental. The people are dying out there because there's no power, hospitals, employment, there's nothing happening. So keep talking about your solar plants you want to give Zambians in 2026, 4 months before elections. Vanamanda. Continue calling. Regards the Delphin, Chisha's 3 million. It's a pity. It's a pity. At this moment, we needed to have.
Does it happen? You've been a member of parliament before. Does it happen that MPs would be, would be paid some money to influence a particular agenda in parliament, on the floor of the house?
Look, there are members of parliament. You can even see how that they behave. So it's possible. that such could be happening. Because how else can you subscribe a person who wants to allow, you have a mandate of the people, you want to allow a bad bill like that to come to parliament under your watch, and you are, so they are unpatriotic people in this country, including members of parliament, some of them, and we are going to know them, how they are going to vote on this bill. But like I said, my dear sister Delphine, please know that whether this bill goes or it doesn't go, the Zambian people, as long as there will be an election next year, they will vote out the UPND with their Bill 7.
This is the Tuesday edition. Our guest, the Tuesday edition of the Burning Issue, by the way, but our guest is Mr. Greyford Monde, the Patriotic Front aspiring presidential candidate. We'll take some more calls on 0955-221515. Good morning. Tauka bwino kaimwa.
Yeo mwauka.
Ine nisani zileko chepali abatakira lungu.
Ati bandani zina mtumira kuti?
Abantu bamwemba batumira kwa Kanyama.
Bamwemba. Yeo bamwemba.
Nisina nikuncheko pali abatakira lungu. Kanole jikangono kamene nizi wako. Nanga muntu ngati alina malilo. Amapasiwa madezi angati kunchito kuti ainge kumalilo. Because why nakamba so muntu akamwalira lero ngati muntu amwalira mapaka kumochali mairo muyamba kupanga program ya burial permit ya burial ya arrangement ya burial ija mazo mushika ija ya mazo ikapita kuno kombo na I think ni 3 days ija ikapita 3 days ija bambo lipirisa kuja kumochali maisinizi wakapena vamachitata base vamechichoka mumakombo nyoro bwanji then member of parliament uchevapezeka murija vazati muntandizeko chizungu apai uchevapezeka murija labor law uchevapezeka mulabor law chifukata kuti ndandiye vapanga malamulo uchevapezeka mukategori ya labor law nanga yeve labor law ikamba bwanji muntu ngatisevenza kukampani ukangana mumaliro ipasa madezi angati Olo monde ngati mulina malilo wanchito wanu mungamupase madezi angati tenti angane pali batasira lungu bankala madezi angati kutoka mu parliament almost 5 months so manje siniziwa maningi because monga wamena kambira hapo musina munitandizireko lebalo ikamba banji muntu akankala na malilo ipasa madezi angati then ba member of parliament ushe siwapezeka muja mu lebalo la mulo wandichipata kuti wapezeka ku parliament ndiye funzo yanga wa Monde.
Vamwemba mukalipoenda imwe kunchito simumabwerera tabenga timwaika maliro
ndiye mwamene nizivira ndasanyeza kambatikano
nanga mukaliboyika mwati mungabwerere imwe kunchito simwendo bauza kuti nakange obwerera ndava maliro yachedu oikiwa
ya nimatuma foni ni kunchito kwanga vane kuno vachinja maprograms kofini takangi wogula so tikali kuchallenge program ya so that muzungu wanga uzazive so manje pamene hapo ndipo pamene sinizira kuti nanga veve aba member of parliament since aba bamondivezeko mu parliament sereve sibapezeka mu labor law chelamulo ya labor law ikamba kuti pasa madezi angati muntu kwenda kumalira
imwe mwenzo ofuna ovizivisisa kuti waiva chitika so pali batasira sisonzo
vachitika so pali batasira then lo amulo ya labor law ikamba bwanji sereve sibapezeka mu labor law.
Okay. Ziko. Yeah, Namver. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let me take some more on 0955-221515. That's the number you're calling us on if you'd like to be a part of this conversation. Let's take this one. Good morning. Hello, good morning. We seem not to have a response from that line. Let's see if we can probably pick a different one. Let's pick this one. Good morning.
My brother.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, sorry for coming back. We need to clarify one thing here, brother.
Unfortunately, yes, I can't give you another chance, brother Namanda. You are the whole minute plus. And maybe
applying for CDF, only Tongas were. That is serious allegation.
Well, Brother Namanda, unfortunately, I can't take that conversation here. Yeah, right. Let's see if we can take some more on 0955 221515. Well, good morning. Twashubuka shankwai atibani abeo pakabwe enkwai ba abeo
monde vakateka vapresident maukashani
How to refer bwino ba abeo kulishanukabwe
kukabwe kwena kwa mtembe despite walikuete kwa machallenges zero achimutandatira kuno mwaliyo mfuire yalya ayaluvire katishinga yaluvira mubowana nanga tirishani but ndesuvira obutungulushi obulipo koserese nicho tirankenda ma analysis anyway singonga nyewa vyashi inekumi koserese action okikatano komwe katene ndeko kulanda pe pari unit ikankala pesana okotwa kumakutari ngamwalolese twalingiro kwata na convention for nga wa PF pa 29 iki nomba injunction yakwa uyu no yachavinga yaisha mukutita interrupt nomba interrupt ishire irenga tuendere umoma okikatana PF ne tentuikatane then kuranda budo mulanda buno sana ba monde mulanda buno sana ine voice omukwete omutwaile kyokulanda na yena until that day kitachani ekeseskrisiwa but ukira kwena twatula kwa seni pokutana ma check and balances kuri uno buteko then kama like muno mukabo kala almost 3 days in as much as doke twali kwete mfule ikuru but to some bari vera mu affected no kweba tinami po cyabo cyakonene but ile afere toira jimide afere toira jimide takure bomba ko emisepera lero nga twamu sirita tishisheko bakanza nawo bayima batipeka nomba ngatwalanda ko atiyo ubugwino buteko ati yo ikadarizimu yari kom 2021 even before the European tabalaisha why is it that bana bari twakutsape adopt iyashi yabo no kubekera ku 10 point plan yabo no kustress to prevent into kabira this government bamondo kulanda petinga nabasirwa let me also talk of iba NGOCC bakuminemo muri constitution amendment NGOCC sasa mundo kuma muri constitution amendment I believe ukena igobene bonsete senti bakuminemo petimo noko yala kwala ifa twalikana why is it that twatene bulletin bayitwere mukuvota ni state bayireterena ene kike tuivote kimono opposite stika why is it that when anaba kosera ko participate ora ku parliament bayite deport kuti abene baleka baleka contradict tuivote ku parliament nishini pincho ko balete wa kuvena Zambia why is it that we are taking a granted for us that's because of when we are pata ambaso so for pano panchi baleka fa baleta marginalized baleta nyantirira and then never monde kosenipo with the all PF aspiring presidential candidates okutirandira ko kuvena Zambia we are ready to change this government aba vale if we are not bamterera kwa kawala bakupera tu kwacha eno watinja wambo kuwatinja tono wambo kuranda pindi
thank you
stand on our ground
thank you
tu kwacha tureja banati shopo tuiminine
thank you Baabe
oh if you want to new come 2026
thank you I've got Henry Mavimba on Facebook. Let me read out the two critical comments on Facebook for you. Henry Mavimba says, good morning. Talking about the Constitution, Zambia has had several amendments to the Constitution, and these have been aligned with the government in power. Possibly we need to revisit the issues that have caused successive governments to amend the Constitution and put safeguards so that the Constitution is people-driven. One of those safeguards is to have a referendum act in place. This will ensure that any government that assumes power and want to tinker with the Constitution should actually involve the citizens through universal suffrage. This will settle the dust and has been blowing up 1967, the referendum and the Constitution of 1973. That's Henry. Let me give you the next one from DC Mate. Okay, DC Mate says, good morning, Monde. Please, you need to have shame sometimes because you were in government of PF, but you did nothing to push development in all corners of the country. You divide the country in 10 years by not giving development in all 156 constituencies. Imagine Nadikwanda constituency, where I come from, nothing was, we received nothing in the 10 years of PF, and you as minister at the time. Now, you are on top of your voice. You are on top of your voice talking as if you are well knowledgeable, while you just want to come and finish our resources. You just want to come and squander our resources, which we won't allow. We don't. We won't allow PF and other big. We won't allow PF and you, big brother, to come back again, because you wanted to set this country on fire, on our peaceful country. Now, you failed to develop it as a strategic constituency as member of parliament, and now you want to come and do what at national level? All right. Those are the two I thought I should also present to you.
Yep.
But let me give you one more call, and then I can allow you to respond. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Morning to you. Thank you for calling. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Thank you very much. You're talking to Lukulu Voice on the line here.
Yeah, Lukuru voice.
Thank you very much. How are you, Mr. Monde?
Very well, thank you. How is Lukulu voice?
Lukulu is very good. It's cool. I'm all right. Thank you. First of all, say that you are standing on the PF ticket, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is our
Sure.
culture say in terms of when you have got a funeral? What does it say? And when is the right time for succession? Because what we know is that after the funeral, you bury. After you bury, then you look at succession issues. Edgar Lungu, the former head of state, is not buried up to now. Then you are there championing to want to bring one or two things. Okay, what's the reason? The reason why Edgar Lungu is still there, not buried, is a man-made problem. You get it? It's not natural. Because if it was natural, the government, you know why I'm saying it's man-made? Because you are saying, the family are saying personal wishes, the wishes of what they want. So if the family will remove those wishes, the Edgar Lungu can be buried even after tomorrow. The government will repatriate and will come and mourn here in Zambia. He was our president, a former head of state. But now we are busy here campaigning. I have never seen this before. That's why there's a lot of confusion. He's not resting in peace. You are not burying. I don't know if someone is telling, can you just try sometimes just pray for wisdom? You will see that what you are doing is wrong. Coming to the issues of the European government have done a lot of things. This amendment you are talking about, you there as a PF, you remember what you did in that Constitution 2016? You enshrined a clause there to say every within 10 years you have to delimitate. So you had to put that into the Constitution. That's a mistake you made. Was it a mistake or intentional? Now, it is now paid now, as we are getting to 2026. So we need to touch that Constitution. So the Europeans are not abrogating the Constitution. They are following the way it is. If we don't do that, we will abrogate the Constitution. You want the Europeans to abrogate the Constitution because the way you used to do? I think that's not right. So why are you blaming them that no, they should not do it?
Lukuru voice, and unfortunately your line is breaking. But thank you.
Okay.
We've got your message.
But I'm sure Mr. Monde has said
Yes.
what I've said. I need the answer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Let me begin from the Lukulu man. Mwatanja Kandelera, and I can tell you that Tunevu, whatever you were saying, quickly, culture on funerals and succession. So here, what we're talking about national issues. If indeed the late President Edgar Lungu, as you are saying, that he is a former head of state and he deserves the respect and he must be buried in this country, would have also expected that during the period he's not buried, then there must be no political activities. You know, Mr. Zaki, when President Lungu died on the 5th of June, track back, you see that there were a number of by-elections in this country. One of them was in Iskongo, Tuawad, and I was in Tuawad myself. And then there were others, I think must be Mfue, Seat, and a few others.
Lumeze, I guess. I think
Yeah.
that's what-
Within that period, the former head of state has died. This government, they declared national mourning. They never suspended elections. That period. Before all of these controversies came, Mwata, Lukulu voice, before these disputes came, the president has died, things are on, we are mourning, they were not mourning. We left our election points and we went to South Africa to start the process of burial. They went ahead during the national mourning to do elections. So you think, Mwata, now after what we saw you do in June, we should allow you to proceed with an election in 2026 without us participating in the elections because of the funeral succession culture. And this funeral is being delayed by yourselves in government. You took the family to court. You would have allowed the family to bury where they wanted to bury. By now would not be about the funeral. So this issue will never detract us, will never detract the Zambians. That Mwata, Muzibisise Ngwabo, Tutuba PF will proceed with that. Regards the developments that you talked about, I will leave that to the Zambian people. You come from Lukulu yourself, because that's what you said. That road coming from that Kaoma road, even the Kaoma road itself is pathetic, from TBZ, coming into your Lukulu, a road coming all the way. Only now, that's when we've heard, no, there is the groundbreaking of the road. In year 5, when you have only 3 months remaining, when are you going to build that road? If it's not a mockery and a continued lie to the Zambian people that you are going to develop the road, when are you going to build the road? So the people of Mitete, the people of Lukulu are watching and they know what is a lie. They will never be cheated again. So there is nothing the UPN has done. What have they built? What hospital have they built in Lukulu? What school have they built in Lukulu? Apart from the so-called CDF, which is under serious audit queries in the manner in which you are disbursing the money. So for me, I will leave that to the Zambian people again. And the 10 years the constitutional, what do you call it? Constitutional. We've been having new constituencies delimited without the constitution being amended. You know that. There's been so many constituencies that have been delimited in Southern Province, Pemba, due to all of this. So there's been so many. So if it was that only reason, I don't think that Zambians would have been saying what they're saying. What is a problem now is that you're not delimiting because, and by the way, this was actually not even in, it's been a continuous article, this one in the Constitution, the 10 years delimitation, every 10 years. But there will be times when if you don't amend the Constitution, then you can't amend it either. So for me, hide in the delimitation, because you know in the delimitation, you want to nominate over 50 MPs, you want now to have parliament to choose your president, and you want to appoint, because we don't even know where you're going to delimitate these constituencies. You want to put them maybe in your stronghold and so on. So we'll leave this Balukurumata to the people of Zambia to decide. Bamate, I'm assuming he's my young brother because he said big brother. So for the things you've said a mouthful. Regards Itestezi, I want you to quickly call 10 people from Itestezi, fairly ask them what this MP, when he was for 5 years, what he did. I did a hydropower station in Itestezi. I gave the people of Itestezi water. There was no running water. I did the road of the 100 kilometers. I did 70. I left 30 kilometers when my time was up to an MP of UPND who failed to do anything. He said, no, government is PF for me. I'm just an MP. Then there was another MP now who's currently there with his government. They failed to do the 30 kilometers and now they are putting gravel on it. They are grading the road, which was a tarmac. So there's so much we've done. I've put up there schools, hospitals. I'm a proud former member of parliament of Itestezi, and the people of Itestezi are very excited about that. So for me, when you say that, what did we do to develop the country? We only developed one side of the country. Western Province, there where you come from in Narikwanda. For you to access Narikwanda, you have to go through Mongu. Go and check. The province itself, just Western Province, received the most expensive road infrastructure budget. To put up the Mongu Kalabo Road, it was in billions of dollars. And no government has ever done that. And you know, the UPND did like a small bridge from Kalabo to where does Honorable Msokotan come from? Liua. Like a small bridge, very small bridge. How they drummed themselves that they've achieved. Forgetting the Mongu Kalabo Road, a marvel, a state of the art. PF built hospitals in Western Province. They built schools. Under PF government, there were more districts created in Western Province than any other province in this country. And I can tell you, Nkema was never a district, it became a district. And with that comes the status of a town, a district, with hospitals, offices, schools, secondary boarding, all of those things. So you have Nkema, you have Nalolo became a district, you have Luampa became a district. Luampa used to be under Kaoma. Luampa became a district. You have Skongo became a district. You have Sioma became a district. You have Mlobezi became a district. If you check in terms of real national budget allocation into Western Province in the last 5 years of a PF, you will see that there is no province in this country that could have benefited in terms of infrastructure development. So for my young brother Mate, Honorable Mate, whether it's DC Mate, I will ask you to introspect and ask yourself the question, what has UPND done in Western Province? And I've been going around. I'm coming from Western Province. I was in Narikwanda, I was in Mongu, I was everywhere. I was in Nalolo, I was everywhere. We were hoping by now UPND would have done the things. Remember, there's a person who said, what did you do when you were in government? Why didn't you do everything? There's someone who asked that question. The purpose of any government here in Zambia, in America, in the US, is to pass on a baton. When the next leader, you can't finish everything in a 1 year or 1 term. So you do what you can, then others pick it up from there. In Lusaka, there were roads which were done. In the Copper Belt, there were roads which were done. In terms of tarring Zambia, PF tarred more than 7,000 kilometers. How much has the UPND tarred in this country? How much? They can't even talk of 100 kilometers. The Ndola Duo Carriage Road is another scam that will need serious reviews. Workmanship is poor on that road. Secondly, there are already texts of them doing a PPP. PPPs kick in when you're finished a project. You are using our road, you are taking our money before you put in your road, and you are using our money. That's corruption. So let UPND show us 100 kilometers of road they've done. PF did 7,000. Let them show us. So for me, Womate, let us not just politic. You are a young person, just like myself probably. Let us love the country more than just belonging to these ethnic groupings and believing in things as if we have no country to look after. We all, as Zambians, it is wrong, we must stand up and say this is not correct. About how that government must relook on how to amend the constitutions. And I think it's really not right. If you find an abusive leader, they will do exactly what this government is doing now. But if you find a content leader, then they will say, even if 50+1 can take me out, I'll still implement it anyway, because it's what the people want. Even if I want to appoint a vice president, they want a running mate, I'm going to stick to that. And this is what Edgar Lungu did. For this particular one, for me, and for the referendum, true. There was a proposed referendum that the UPND brought down. Zambians have not forgotten about that. So, Henry Mavimba, I'm so grateful for that comment. Thanks so much. Kabwe is talking about the violence that has happened. Or in text of cyber law, the law which is a cake, the law which the UPND condemned in its strongest terms, and they said they were going to amend those laws. Now people can't even organize. You want to go and meet your party structures. Party structures to organize, they want a permit. We are having to do meetings in bedrooms. That's why we're having our meetings now. Never, ever seen. I was consulting senior citizens, those who were there at independence. They will tell you that even Bamumba mentioned about this. Even Bamanda mentioned about this, that since independence he was there. Now, even churches are being stopped to congregate, all in the name of this cyber law and so on. So, for me, the people are watching. But, Bakabwe, UPND, declare now, Kadarism is back. So, we just have to grace ourselves for this Kadarism, which the people of Zambia rejected. So, these are all the things that I keep saying, and I keep telling myself, like I said before, that he who the gods want to destroy, they first make mad, so that they can even go out and start to declare that Kadarism is coming back. We are going to fight and do whatever that we want, and so on. Then Bamwemba uganyama mwali wamba uti ino batasila ayamalila mazuba onga nguwele gutaba ku parliament Bamwemba tabanaziga eridiro nkolijili. So until zike, in fact, u parliament baspeaker bagamba twabapa kusigira bagazike, but oyo wagajita kuti batazigi nguni gu government yaga inde ejilema bibagajita su family ku South Africa kuti mtaziki. But also parliament, there's physical attendance and online attendance. So why not give credentials to be logging in while she's in South Africa, just in case a matter that she needs to debate, like the way we've seen during the COVID time. So for me, that is it.
But even then, it's hard to really
concentrate. Yeah. Yes, that's true. Because you've got a body. How do you go to debate with such with such a parliament? You know, this parliament is very hostile. So for me, I think that the labor laws, they don't apply actually at parliament. Unfortunately, we've got certain different rules at parliament that govern us. Because he said those are contracts. He said temporary job, 5 years you are out and you are gone. You can't even come and say no mbuti mbuti. So ndarumba maningi bamwemba twatera ngumwamba.
So who is Greyford Monde?
Well, so Greyford Monde is son of Mr. Monde Smangolwa, and my mother was Lusebo Makoi, both from Congo district, and I was born in Mumbwa district. My father used to work at Nampundwe mines. In fact, due to the these issues of boundary,
right?
Yeah. So in Nampundwe there, we used to do hospitals in Lusaka. It's believed that I was born actually at the mine hospital now, which you call the one behind UTH. What do you call it? You call it is Trust Hospital. Yeah, that's where I was born. But by registration, because of the geographical location of Nampundwe, then we were in Mumbwa before the realignments.
Right.
It stays up to grade 9, grade 2 to grade 9, and then came to Mumbwa Secondary School. Then became member of parliament for it stays 2011 to 2016. And during the time, I was appointed deputy minister by late President Michael Sata of Agriculture and Fisheries, then later reappointed by President Edgar Lungu in the same portfolio, and later elevated to a full cabinet ministry position.
But all that, you were still a member of parliament under the UPND, right?
Yes, I was a member of parliament under the UPND because we had some controversy, and so we went to court to argue this matter, and I can tell you that the matter ended well. It ended well. Yes, because there were accusations on my part which they failed to challenge. But by the way,
what accusations are those?
So for example, and I don't like to talk about this because it's really in my far past, and I'm looking forward to a new leaf.
Yeah.
What was happening critical at the time was that when you are trying to foster development in your constituency, there was this bagging you together where you have no option to lobby for real development. And for me, I think I disfied with that. Because if I'm to give people water, I mean, there's a yellow book. And in the yellow book, there's a minister of local government, for example, that is supposed to give me the water. So if I follow up that, then you have a problem. Then
you were working with the government.
No. I mean, of course, when you're an MP, you are working with the government. So when you're working with the government, it is your area of operation. For example, as an MP, I'm not working in the central government. I am at parliament as a legislature. But there is the cabinet. And in that cabinet, there are certain things I can easily follow up. If there's an allocation for my road to be done in Itestezi, why must I not follow up on my road? So when you do that, the UPN will tell you, no. If you do that thing, people will be thinking that PF is delivering. So there were many of those things, and there were accusations around very petty anyway. And this is why the accusations that given on me could not even stand. And I want to tell you that at a time for me, my preoccupation was to deliver that which I promised the people. And I delivered it. And so
you got expelled, in short.
So
from the UPN.
They expelled me, and that's what I challenged. And when I went to court, they couldn't to substantiate their factors. So then I was minister, and now I'm the national mobilization chairman of the party. And not only that, I am married with 3 children. I'm SDA, in fact, an elder serving ordained in the SDA church.
You said you are an economist by profession.
Yes, I did economics at the University of Africa. Before that, I did small courses, NATEC at NIPA, and so on, and small crash programs. And now I'm running as a president of the PF onward as a candidate on the national election as a president of the Republic of Zambia. It's an agent call for all of us, including myself, to rise above mediocre and see what we can do best for our country. Some of the statistics and the records that we keep showing the country is very disappointing, to say the least. You boast over 1 million metric tons of copper in terms of production, and yet your country is still very poor. Your budget is still at $10 billion, a very small figure for a big country like this one. Countries like Uganda, they are 4 times running those budgets, almost on their own. What are we living in our country? Only holes. Why are we not maximizing our opportunities to ensure that we do the best for our country? For me, I am calling for a fresh Zambia. So we need to do a fresh start on our country. And this calls for all well-meaning Zambians, especially the young people that still have the energy. Those that are still watching and seeing what is happening elsewhere in the world, and that we can be able to transform our country together. It's a call on everyone, despite your political party grouping. Zambia is more stronger than any one of us. Politics come, political parties come, people come and go, but Zambia will remain here. What are we going to leave for our people? That is my call, that's my challenge. And I put up myself here to offer those services to our people in real terms by working with everyone. I want to see a united Zambia myself, where no one will look at any tribe. This business of you heard one of the callers here, when you were in power, only the northern people were benefiting, us were not benefiting. Okay? That in itself means now the people in the southern region or the Zambezi so-called, which I don't like, are now happy. Then these other regions are not happy. Then tomorrow when these ones win, the other. So must it be on and off? Should Zambia become a button? No. I want for a true united Zambia where no tribe. I'm married from the Eastern Province myself, and my children are Piris. Okay? They are Chewa. So I want a true united Zambia where everyone must feel that they're Zambian and they'll participate without having to feel anything. If you are qualified, you are qualified. If you want to invest in any sector, you invest in any sector. When you want a contract anywhere, you have a contract anywhere. I want to see Zambia producing real billionaires. You know, this country. Tell me one billionaire that you know in this country that is not going to court for all that they've amassed. None. So I want Zambia to have real billionaires. Why should we be probing our people every time? You get contracts, you give them to foreigners. When the foreigners have gone, like now it's been dry in the construction sector. Nothing is happening. So those contracts we gave out to those foreigners, they've gone away. No one has invested in this country. So I want to see a Zambia where we've got super farmers in the sugar sector. Thousands of hectares must be tilled by the Zambian people, sugar, rice, wheat, and so on. The mining sector, Zambians must own the mines. This is our natural resource. God gave this to us. That's what I want to see as a president of this country. You can't be a president of a country and you're also competing in business. If you want business, become a businessman. Leave other people to participate in these sectors. So many vested interests in leaders of this of our governments, and that has taken this country backward. We need Zambians to enjoy the economy, to feel that they're Zambians. I was in Kalumbila. I was in the Northwestern Province. Everywhere there are mines opening up. The road that leads to a mine is so dilapidated. Yet they're picking gold there. They're picking copper there. They're flying because they've got money. 1 hour they're in the Northwestern Province. A poor Zambian is walking to school without shoes. And yet they own these resources. How much of our mineral royalties are we getting as a country? Do a scan where mines are doing very well. People are negotiating 50% of mineral royalties to remain in the country. Here we are talking of 5%, 6%. Surely, are we serious? No. God did not leave us in Zambia by mistake. He left us here, gave us the resources. And the resources that we have, the natural resources, which rates us as the 4th richest country in Africa. There is a study that shows that that resource is around $10 trillion in terms of worthiness. Now, if it's $10 trillion, why are we still poor? So we want to translate that into real resources for the people of Zambia to enjoy. Not what we are seeing. We are seeing children walking to school, no road, torn t-shirts, torn school uniforms, and you call yourself a president. You call yourself leaders in the country. It's a pity. So for me, given an opportunity to be in the driving seat, again, it's very important. A driving seat, very, very important. Yes, I was in government up to 2016, 10 years ago now. But then I was only a minister. And even there, go and check the record. There's so much that I did under that short period of time. We were able to reduce, under my watch, the cost of fertilizer by half. When the PF got over power, we were around 1,200 per metric ton of fertilizer. We dropped that to 600. I was there because I cared for Zambian people. We did a lot of projects. The dams you're talking about, the Momboshi Dam, I was one of the ministers at that Ministry of Agriculture who fought and pushed those projects we're talking about. These solar milling plants you are seeing dotted, the blue ones, that is my initiative. Working together, anywhere you go, you see those solar power. They are helping the people in Baulen. I've seen it. Even in urban areas, they're there. People are milling there for a very low cost. So give me the driving seat, Zambian people, and you see what we shall do together, not alone by myself. We can make Zambia better.
Greyford Monde, Patriotic Front aspiring presidential candidate, I thank you so much for coming today. Yours was a busy schedule in the morning, but you still gave us an opportunity to have you here. We appreciate.
Thank you very much.
And we can only wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to all of that listening to us. We are so grateful for the opportunity. It's always an honor for me to be here. Thank you so much to yourselves.
Thank you. Well, there you have it. To you, our listeners, we say thank you very much for following our conversation, and more especially those that took time to participate. But more sincerely, we thank our partner radio stations, Isunga Radio, Isunga FM, that is in Northern Province, Katete FM in Eastern Province, Central Province. We have Spice FM in Kabwe and ZFM in Kapiri, Tuta FM in Mansa, Platinum Radio in Ndola, Copperbelt. We thank you so much. God willing, we will be back on Thursday with the Thursday edition of The Burning Issue. From all of us here, is take care of yourselves and more so of each other. Bye-bye.
Tune in next week for another edition of The Burning Issue, and thank you for your participation. Democracy and freedom of expression is about tolerating the views that you don't like from someone you might not like.